I'm here with Glen Brumby, the Executive Director of Building Codes Queensland. And Glen, first question to you, what is the impact of codes on homes in severe weather?
Well, Mara, thanks for the question. I think building codes have added a lot of value to Queensland community over many years. Now they've been shown to be very adequate in protecting communities when buildings are built to code. Since about the mid-80s, homes have been built to resist wind actions, and that's shown that they will resist the expected wind actions in a high wind event.
So I guess one of the challenges is there's a lot of older homes that were built before the mid-80s, and so what are some practical things, first starting outside of the house? What should people do in a very high wind cyclone type situation?
Well, if you are expecting some high winds, the first thing to do is to get rid of any debris around your home. Any debris can be a flying object, which can then smash into a window and then create an opening. And what people need to realise is when you create an opening in a wall, the pressure inside the home can lift the roof off and that sort of thing.
So that could be the secret to your roof lifting off or not, is just clearing all the debris.
Clear the debris, and for you and your neighbours, there's in this garden there's lots of things in the garden that could become a missile. And then you want to think about also where your home's positioned, because obviously on a high ridge, etc., you've got elements of the home that are more vulnerable to other ones.
And really look out for that, including branches. That's a critical thing.
That's right, branches and trees. You want to trim them, and you want to keep the risk of missiles low.
Okay, now what about the house itself? What are the important things to do? If you have to do 3 or 4 really practical things.
Well, I'd say the first thing to do is to have a good look around. Have a look at your home. Older homes will be vulnerable because they have building elements that deteriorate. There's rot and there's elements that rust. There's also things like gutters. You want to make sure your gutters are cleaned out.
Yep.
People forget that gutters need to carry a lot of water. When the cyclone events carry rain, and then the rain can overflow the gutter and it can come back into the home.
Okay.
And that's a bit of an inconvenience. So clean your gutters. Also have a look at the things like awnings. Wind them up. This home's got some awnings.
Yep.
The awnings, may not have been approved.
Yeah.
And that sometimes don't need approval, small ones. And if they're wound out, they can catch more wind. So wind them up. Have a look at the fixings, make sure they're not rusted.
And lockable, things like garage
Lock
doors,
them up,
windows,
right.
doors, all of that. That's pretty important, isn't it?
Sure, and little garden sheds, make sure they're tied down properly. Homeowners do put on sheds, and there's fixings that you can do to fix the concrete so that it's less likely to blow away.
Okay, fantastic. Sounds like one great big band-aid right around the house.
Well, that's true, and just have a look at the things you add to your home. Like this home's got some lattice work.
Yep.
Lattice work's got to be properly fixed, and it's better to get some advice about when you're putting things in your home. When you do building work, you should comply with code.
Yep.
Well, you've got to be ready for the high wind events.
Okay, so go on to the website to find out what the bits and pieces of advice are, but get good, solid advice when you're really, renovating and so forth.
That's right, and if you're not sure, take some advice. Get the council out, get a building certifier, get an engineer to come and give you some advice about how your home's holding up. Over time, homes do get subject to wind actions that do weaken them. So having a good look at cracked tiles, things like that, making sure that you replace things that are wearing is good.
Glen, are there any specifically vulnerable things you take a look at?
Well, I would actually take a look at garage doors or large window openings if they're on an exposed part of the building. And it's important because they take a lot of load. Get them checked if you're not sure.
Okay, lock them up, get them checked, make sure that they're in the right place. Okay, fantastic advice. Thanks so much.